Melody held a cup of coffee in her hand and smiled softly as the soft sunlight filtered through the window curtains inside the house. As always, the day started with children's laughter. Sugar Mama had just dropped her little doll on the floor and was bursting with laughter. For Melody, the scene was nothing short of a blessing. She would sometimes think to herself, "This is real life where there is no competition, no pretense, just pure love." Little Malaya was sitting on the sofa, turning the pages of her little book, while Milani, like her mother, was lost in the music. Sometimes she hums, sometimes laughs, and sometimes beats with small hands. Melody felt that these children had a spark of life that could not be found on any stage in the world. In that moment, Melody realizes how simple yet profound a mother's life is, away from fame and cameras. The walls of the house were covered with pictures of children, some with discolored paint, some with small handprints. Sugar Mama painted a picture of herself on the wall, a round face, two big eyes, and the inscription, "Mommy Me Forever." Melody's eyes watered when she saw that scene. She gently took Sugar Mama into her arms and gave her a loving kiss on the forehead. When children laugh at their mother's bosom, there is a wonderful peace in the heart, like a quiet island away from the noise of the whole world. It was afternoon. The kitchen smelled of pancakes. Melody always made something special for the children because she knew that these little bridges become treasured memories. Sugar Mama put the dough on her hands and said, "Mommy, I'm the chef today." Melody laughed and said, "Then Chef Sugar, what's on the menu? Pancakes with extra love." Sugar Mama said solemnly. Melody's heart swelled at this innocent answer. She wanted her children to always have the feeling that love is the greatest flavor of life. Later, when they all went out on the lawn, Tate started playing with her little ball. Melody watched as he burst into laughter with each throw. Milani was running with her sister, and their laughter echoed in the air. "Thankfully, I chose peace again," Melody said to herself. All that fame gave was temporary, but this love, it's a light forever. As the afternoon wore on, the sky turned orange. Melody sat on her porch, watching the children play. She was thinking of how many turns life had taken, sometimes criticism, sometimes pain, sometimes loneliness, but today, the touch of those small steps had healed every wound. Sugar Mama came running, a small flower in her hand. He said, "Mommy, for you." Melody blushed, eyes twinkling. She knew that the greatest success in the world is not what is seen on the TV screen, but what is hidden in the love of a small heart. Everyone sat around the table for dinner. Melody listened to the children's stories of the day. Tate tells a funny incident with a friend at school, and everyone laughs. Milani said that today she won the first prize in singing. Melody stroked her hair and said, "I'm so proud of you, baby." That moment was so pure that time stood still. After dinner, Melody got everyone ready for bed. Sugar Mama said, "Mommy, tell me a story." Melody smiled and said, "Once upon a time, there was a mommy who loved her kids more than anything in the world, and as the story was told, the children drifted off to sleep. She kissed their foreheads and dimmed the lamp a little. The room fell silent, only the soft breathing of the children remained. Melody slowly raised her head and said, 'Thank you, God, for this peace.' Now she was standing by the window. Outside, the moonlight was spreading over everything. She knew there would be challenges ahead in life. But now she had a new weapon: calmness, patience, and the strength of motherhood. Fame may return, people may change, but a mother's heart is never empty. The next morning, Melody prepares to record her story. She wanted the world to know that real-life happiness doesn't need filters. Sugar Mama comes to her and says, "Mommy, can I be in your video?" Melody laughs. "Of course. You're the star," and then they all get in front of the camera, laughing family. A strong mother and the beautiful truth that love is the greatest achievement. Melody looked at the camera and said from her heart, "If you ever feel lost, just look at your kids. They'll remind you what really matters." She sincerely thanked Allah for giving her this peace, this love, and the opportunity to be not only a mother, but also an example to her children. Now, she didn't just want to live a domestic life. She wanted to pursue her dreams too, but this time with a new balance. Not a race for fame, but with contentment of heart. Melody opened the notebook on her table. At the top of the page was written, Project Real Talk by Melody Shari. This was her new video series project in which she was going to share her true life stories, motherhood experiences, parenting, and self-love journey with the world. She wanted other women to know that becoming a mother doesn't end dreams. It's where new light begins. As she set up the camera, Sugar Mama came running. "Mommy, can I help?" Melody smiled and said, "Of course, my little producer." Sugar Mama straightened the frame and said, "Ready, set, go." Melody launched her first video. She said, "Hi everyone, I'm Melody Shari, and today I just want to remind every mom out there that you're doing amazing." His tone had the truth that comes from experience. After the recording, Melody closed her script and looked out onto the lawn. Children were standing ready to go to school. Tate said, "Mommy, we have a family event today. Can you come?" Melody lovingly placed her hand on his shoulder and said, "Course, I'll be there, baby. I wouldn't miss it for the world." Come noon, the school field day begins. When Melody arrived at school, her heart swelled with pride. She saw that her children were not only involved in sports, but were all smiling, talking, and supporting each other. Sugar Mama runs the race and says proudly, "Look, Mommy," Melody clapped. "That's my girl," and when she came first, Melody had tears of joy in her eyes. People around Melody were talking to her. Some old fans were also present. One said, "Melody, you look so happy these days." He smiled and replied, "Because I finally chose peace over perfection." This phrase was like the essence of her life. When she returned home in the evening, the children surprised her. There was a small poster on the porch that read, "Congrats, Mommy, you did your first episode. We're proud of you." Sugar Mama sings. Melody's eyes watered again. She hugged the children and said, "You guys are my biggest award." The next day, Melody started working on her new videos. She was holding sessions for mothers, sharing stories, and truths with them. In a video, she said, "Being a mother isn't about being perfect, it's about being present." This sentence went viral. People started writing in the comments, "Melody, you speak from the heart." Gradually, his new project became a movement. Women, especially single mothers, were affected by this. They felt that someone was speaking to their heart. Melody never thought her truth would go so far, but she knew that when the intention is clear, the words reach the hearts. One day while she was recording, Sugar Mama came and said, "Mommy, can I say something?" "Sure, baby," Melody said. Sugar Mama approached the mic and said, "Tell all the mommies that they're superheroes like you." Melody's eyes narrowed. She smiled and said, "I will, baby." That evening, as the sun was setting, Melody sat on the lawn and drank tea. Tate was reading a book. Milani was watering the flowers. And Sugar Mama made a paper crown with her little hands and said, "Mommy, you're our queen." Melody placed the crown on her head and smiled heartily. Far more valuable than fame's crown was this paper crown because it was made with love. Melody looked up at the sky, praying in her heart, "Oh God, just give me this peace. Fame, success, everything is given to you. But this house, these children, this love, this is my heaven." The next day, Milani had a music program at school. Melody arrived first, as usual. When Milani came on stage and started singing in her sweet voice, the entire auditorium fell silent. At the end of her song, when she said, "This song is for my mommy," Melody couldn't stop crying. She knew her hard work, her training, and her love all paying off. After the program, everyone came to Melody. A teacher said, "Your daughter sings with so much heart, just like you talk." Melody smiled and said she learned from the best her life. When they all returned home in the evening, the house was filled with laughter. Tate started talking about her science project. Milani was running around with her music certificate. And Sugar Mama said, "Mommy, next time I'll be on the stage too," Melody said. "Of course you will. You already have the biggest stage, my heart." Late at night, after everyone fell asleep, Melody opened her notebook. He wrote, "I've learned that success isn't measured by fame, it's measured by peace. And peace lives where love grows." It had been a few months since Melody's show Real Talk went viral online. People began to recognize her not just as a mother, a woman, or a star, but as a voice. In each episode, she shows the aspects of life that people often hide: the broken hopes, the sacrifices of a mother, the silent prayers, and the smile that endures through it all. Melody's words were touching hearts. Her manner of speaking was soft, but the impact was profound. People used to say to him, "You make us feel seen." Melody was now busier than ever, but one thing has never changed: time with her children. No matter how long the day was, after the show, she would always sit down with her kids and tell stories, laugh, and sometimes laugh late into the night with a chocolate milkshake. Tate was getting older now, wiser too. She would often look at her mother and say, "Mommy, you're a star, but you're my sunshine first." Melody would always laugh at this sentence, but in some corner of her heart, her eyes would get wet. With the success of the show, Melody's team announced that the next season of Real Talk will be made, but this time with some special guests. A strange thought struck Melody: could Destiny be summoned? She knew that there were complications in the past between the two of them, even misunderstandings. But within her, anger was now replaced by peace. Maybe it's time to change the ending of the old stories, he thought. That evening, she was sitting on the lawn. Sugar Mama was playing with her toys, Milani was playing the guitar, and Tate was drawing a house map on the ground with chalk. Melody looked at them all and thought to herself, if these little hearts are so forgiving, why not me? The next day, Melody sends a message to Destiny. She was straightforward, simple, and without bitterness. "Hey Destiny, hope you're doing well. I'm starting a new chapter of Real Talk, and I think it's time for some real healing. Would you like to join me a few hours later?" came the reply. "I'd like that. Maybe it's time we talk not as rivals, but as women who've grown." Melody picked up the phone, closed her eyes, and said, "Thank you, God." The day of recording arrived. It was raining softly outside the studio, and the atmosphere inside was serious but calm. Melody looked at herself in the mirror. His eyes had that sparkle that comes from reconciliation, forgiveness, and truth. There was a moment of silence as Destiny entered. The two looked at each other as if time had stopped. "Thank you for coming," Melody continued. "Thanks for inviting me," Destiny said softly. The show started. "Sometimes healing isn't about forgetting the past, it's about facing it with love," Melody said softly. Destiny bowed her head and said, "And sometimes we just need someone brave enough to start that conversation." The entire studio watched with bated breath. The conversation went on. Both discussed past misunderstandings, sorrows, and truths. No blame, no anger, just understanding. Melody said, "We were both hurting, Destiny. Maybe we just didn't know how to say it." Destiny replied, "You're right. But I'm glad we're saying it now." When the show ended, the two hugged each other. At that moment, everything became clear. A weight was lifted from Melody's heart as if old chains had been broken. "You've built something beautiful, Melody, and I'm happy you found peace," Destiny said. Melody smiled and said, "We both can. There's enough light for everyone." When this episode went online, the world stopped. Millions of people saw it, and the comments kept coming. This is what real women look like. Strong, kind, and healing together. For Melody, it wasn't just a show, but a moment like a prayer fulfilled. Life took a new turn after that. Melody started receiving offers from major networks. But he always said, "I'll only do it if I can stay authentic." Fame was now a goal for her, not a pretense. At home, the children were happy for her success. Sugar Mama saw her mother on TV one day and said, "Mommy, you look like a superhero." Melody laughed and said, "That's because I have 3 super kids." And indeed, these children were her real strength. One night, after everyone went to sleep, Melody looked up at the sky from her balcony. The air was cold, but the heart was warm. She was thinking about how her life had once felt broken, but now the same story had become light. She said to herself, when you choose love, life always finds its way back. A few days later, a special event was held for Real Talk, where Melody was presented with the Voice of Empowerment Award. When she took the stage, the hall erupted in applause. She took the mic and said, "I dedicate this to every woman who thought her story was over. It's not. You just need to turn the page." The audience stood up. Tears in the eyes, respect in the heart. For Melody, that moment symbolized her entire journey, patience and light. When she returned home after the award, the children were awake. Sugar Mama had a little card for her. On it was written, "You're our hero, Mommy." Melody took the card to her chest. All the fame awards aside, and this card aside, because it was written with love. That night, she sat on the sofa with the children. Tate said, "Mommy, what's next?" Melody laughed and said, "Maybe. A vacation. Just us, no cameras." Sugar Mama clapped. Yes, beach time the next morning, they all reached the seashore. The air was soft, the sand warm, and hearts light. Melody put her feet in the water and looked away. Destiny also sent a message. "Thanks again for everything, Mel. You showed me what grace looks like." Melody replied, "We all deserve peace. Destiny. I'm glad we found ours." Children were playing like lizards in the water. Milani said, "Mommy, look." Sunset Melody looked up at the sky. The sun was slowly sinking into the sea, but the light was still there. She smiled and said, "See, even the sun knows endings can be beautiful too." In that moment, she knew that life was now complete suffering. Love, forgiveness, success, all rolled into one story. Melody Shari was no longer just a name, but an example that when a woman learns to love herself, the whole world begins to love her. If you've ever felt broken, remember, the story doesn't end there. Like Melody, you can turn a new page. Love, forgiveness, and truth. That is the light that dispels all darkness.